So it means it is a vegan diet, but more than that, there's more to it. Not all plant-based foods are part of a mucusless diet.
Right. Yeah. So for years, I called the Mucusless Diet Healing System the original vegan diet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, recent years, I've been calling it the original plant-based diet. But however you define these terms, because they're all controversial and no one agrees on the definitions. But if you find an article I wrote on mucusfreelife.com, which is my website, I think it's mucusfreelife.com/vegan-diet. But there's in that article, I kind of do a brief history of veganism and show how the mucusless diet is the first widespread systematic book that really outlined a way for people to transition to a vegan diet. Because really, what these definitions change over time. The term vegetarian used to mean what vegan means today, but there was
Yeah.
fighting, amongst folks in these little societies, the vegetarian societies in Europe and in America. And so as a lot of these terms do, it degenerated over time. And so all of a sudden, vegetarians, you had these split factions, and one side is saying that vegetarianism should be non-animal based products. Then you have on the other side, they're saying, well, cheese is okay and fish and like these things that make absolutely no sense. And so they ended up winning. And so in 1944, Watson had Donald Watson, I believe was his name, created the term vegan, and ended up splitting away from the vegetarian society, and then that path was kind of created. But before all of that, you had Mucusless Diet Healing System, which was first written in 1920. Aret started really publishing things as early as the late 1800s, 1890 to 90s. But those first 20 years of the 20th century, you got a number of different publications that Aret came out with that was based on his research, based on his philosophy. And his writings are very much in the old tradition of the so-called Renaissance person that studies everything and kind of creates a way of a viewpoint that includes scientific method along with philosophy, along with theology, and that's a tradition that is unless you understand that when you read some of his works, it might be confusing because he can shift from talking about something in scientific terms and then in the next sentence say something metaphysical. And so it's a unique kind of writing. I mean, people still do it today, but I don't see it as prominent as it once was. But yeah, so it's kind of how we get to where we are now. So in the beginning, if there are transitional options that are not plant-based that are recommended, which some hardcore vegans don't appreciate, because they're saying, you got to change right away. And what my argument is that it's better for somebody, in my opinion, to be able to make permanent changes than to try to change overnight and then in 2 or 3 months they're back eating meat again. And so and we see that over and over again.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I find it phenomenal that Aret was talking about these things back in the day, so long ago, and a lot of people who are not really into thinking about diet and nutrition, they think a plant-based lifestyle or the term vegan is something brand new. So I find it, when I tell people about it and tell them when he lived, they're always surprised because they thought, it's a new age kind of thing.
Right.
And I read the book, so I like his style of writing. I can relate to it. And I think a lot of people, because it's not very long, you know, it's you can read it within a few days actually. So I
Yeah.
think it's very relatable.